A Winnipeg woman has been fined $300 after she was caught on camera throwing a bottle of leather cleaner and a traffic cone at a Canada goose. The 20-year-old pleaded guilty under legislation known as the Migratory Birds Act. The birds are protected by federal law, making harassing them a criminal offense. Experts say it's rare to see charges laid, but it's not unheard of. And authorities advise the public to contact Canadian Wildlife Services or other wildlife enforcement if they have any bird-related issues. So to help us understand the laws around wildlife protection, we're joined now by Victoria Shroff, King's Counsel. She is an animal lawyer and adjunct professor of animal law at the University of British Columbia. Victoria, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So you're familiar with this case, a 20-year-old charged with harassing a nesting goose. And I think maybe that is an important part of this, too, because that goose was looking after potentially its own babies. But what was your reaction when you first heard about the charges and the resulting fine?
Well, it saddens me because cases like this demonstrate why animals need law for their protection from humans. And it just shows we have a long way to go in how we understand wildlife.
Now, in this case, when this young woman, 20 years old, went before the judge, she was pretty clear that she was unaware that there was this law protecting migratory birds, this Migratory Bird Convention Act. What do people need to know about it?
I think people need to know that they need to coexist with wildlife. And they also need to know that people are watching and everybody has a camera in their pocket. And it's not unlikely that someone might take a video of somebody trying to harm wildlife. But getting to the root of the problem, people need to stop hurting wildlife or thinking that there's a war on wildlife or be aggressive to wild animals.
In this case, we're talking specifically, this is the Migratory Bird Act. So and I'm not suggesting in any way that it would be right to throw leather cleaner at a different bird that isn't maybe migratory if there is one. But so how is there a classification or are there other acts that would protect other wildlife?
Yes. We have wildlife laws that apply throughout. We also have the criminal code, which can be invoked in extreme circumstances as well. So when we're talking about the Migratory Bird Convention Act, this was an act that came out of a treaty with the United States over 100 years ago. So Canada geese have been here for a long time, and I hope that they will continue to be here for a long time and to be treated with more respect. I think the principles that people need to be aware of when we read about cases like this and other cases is that people need to learn to coexist. And that I can distill it down to three things. I can distill the idea of whether it's under the Migratory Birds Act or whether it's under the Wildlife Act, and even under some municipal laws. Stop feeding wildlife. That's where the problem often starts, they become habituated to people. And so we have the three things: disrespect for nature and wildlife, human entitlement, such as throwing leather cleaner in a canister against a bird and throwing a pylon at a bird. It boggles the mind. And the last one is lack of education. So because you didn't know is not an excuse. We need to step up humane principles here. I think it's a chance also to learn from Indigenous stewardship, because there are periods of time where Canada geese are legally allowed to be hunted with the proper permits. So that's another area that wasn't part of this case.
No,
but,
yeah. I want to get one more question in here. Initially, the fine that she was facing was $730, and the judge actually lessened it on the recommendation of the federal Crown Attorney, who said that, the $300 fine still sent the message that they felt was important, but also acknowledging in this reasoning, this lawyer did, that these geese can be frustrating and they can also be aggressive, particularly when they are nesting. And I've never come up against a Canada goose. But what would your message be to someone who found themselves in a situation where they actually did feel threatened by that animal? How, they're going to want to be careful. They're hearing this. They're hearing there could be a fine. There could be repercussions. How can they maneuver and have it be lawful?
Sarah, let me flip the question. I want to know what that person was doing to make that bird seem aggressive to them, because that's often the case. They've been antagonized or someone's going too close to their nest. There are lots of non-lethal and non-aggressive solutions for people if they're considering how to avoid Canada geese in their lives. Installing low fences, having flashing. There's lots of things people can do to get out of what they perceive to be harm's way, but they shouldn't take the law into their hands or think that they should start throwing things at birds, except I would say in extreme circumstances. Call a wildlife officer if you have any questions. There's also a handbook that the Wildlife Service puts out for people in these situations.
Victoria Shroff, King's Counsel, is an animal lawyer and the adjunct professor of animal law at the University of British Columbia. Thank you so much.
Most welcome.